When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He says, son, when you grow up, will you be the savior for the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He says, will you defeat them? Something, I don't remember. And all the non-believers. Can't remember. Oh my god, I just realized my iPad is on 16%.
Whoa. Better get this show on the road then.
I know.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
This is the Southside of Wakanda podcast, the best podcast in the multiverse. I am Ward Meacham.
And I am Central Coast Pharmaceuticals. And there's probably only I'm probably the only person that gets that. It's a psych reference for those who don't know.
And this is a podcast by two black queens, and we talk about the MCU, everything in continuity in the live action MCU. We don't really discuss the comic books because we haven't read them. So if that description fits you, welcome.
Hello.
This week we are going to be discussing Iron Fist Season 1, Episodes 5 through 8, as well as the second episode of She-Hulk. Usually right about now we talk about news, but we're not doing that this week.
Ain't nothing happened.
I don't think so. I don't think anything really shocking happened or anything that's concrete. Of course, it's always rumors and speculations and leaks, but if you listen to our podcast, you know we don't really talk about that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So we just gonna breeze right on past the news section, and we can do a little discussion. So
yes,
one of our followers, and let me see if I can pull up their name, because when I saw this, I was like, "Oh my god!"
I know. I was like, "Oh my, people tagging us and stuff."
Right?
What?
This is the first time somebody who is outside of our family has tagged our podcast.
Exactly.
Hey, look at this. But the comment was from Magic Rainbow. Hey.
Hello.
And so they tagged us in a video talking about basically what's canon in the MCU and how people are discussing the MCU. And their video, I think it was about She-Hulk. I didn't go back. I don't remember. I watched the original video, what they were talking about. Now, I'm pretty sure it was about the Hulk and She-Hulk.
I don't think that it was about anything in particular.
Not the one that they tagged us in, the one that person was responding to.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that one.
That video was about the Hulk, but the person that they tagged us in was just speaking about just the MCU in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to bring this up because we posted a clip from our podcast from last week about She-Hulk, and someone was commenting talking about Bruce's DID and how that was in the Eric Bana Hulk, and they said that we should go and watch that because it's canon, and it's not, y'all.
That's honestly that's worse than the people that was on Instagram on Shade Room talking about what's the MCU and all that stuff. That's just as bad.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about, Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans have been in other Marvel movies before going into the MCU, and they were just well, that was Marvel, and it was just well, that's not MCU, it's not Marvel Studios.
It's you so close, but
so
still
close, but you still
far.
miss the point.
Yeah.
The point. You.
Exactly. And I don't know if it's confusing for people, especially I feel like it's confusing for non-comic book for comic book people, because they tend to think they always bring the comic books into these conversations. And both of the people the duet and the original video that we were tagged in was both by women creators, and I feel like that's a key part of it.
100%.
They always feel and that happens on every video we post on our TikTok too. It's always somebody well, in the comic books.
But we're not talking about that.
No.
And it's just like, and you know, and we were talking about this yesterday, and I was just like, well, I feel like in the video and on the, well, technically on the podcast, but on the video as well, we kind of covered our bases really well, because we were saying how Edward Norton wanted it to be a part of the canon and wanted it to be a part of the movie that the Incredible Hulk movie, but Kevin Feige, you know, even our Lord and Savior makes mistakes. He didn't want to include that,
right?
So technically, it isn't canon, but also it's basically shown that in that movie that he has mental health issues. Also, when he says that, you know, he tried to kill himself and everything, it is very clear that
he got
Hulk has some issues. But because of the fact that they were never able to make another independent Hulk movie, they weren't really able to dive into that.
Right. And so that's never been anything that's been discussed in none of these movies. Like, we've all seen them multiple times. It's never been any, like, line drop, like, oh, yeah, my dad used to beat the shit out of us. He's never fucking said that.
Exactly. And that's the thing that sucks, because I feel like even in, like, the movies where it's kind of an ensemble cast and everything, they still don't give Bruce anything. No. And that's the thing that's so frustrating, because at least, like, you know, with Nat, we got a little bit here and there. Same with Clint even. But maybe because they weren't too sure, maybe, like, legally they weren't really allowed to delve too deep into it. But it kind of sucks that, because I think that would have been, like, a really cool story to show, like, how Bruce Banner, you know, grew up and everything. Especially since he's such a...
Joss Whedon. I feel like it's Joss Whedon's fault. Because in the Age of Ultron, everybody got a fucking flashback except for the Hulk.
Yeah, we never
he could have easily showed, like,
his
Bruce
dad
as a
beating
kid.
him.
Yeah, like, and 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And I forgot where I was going with that point. But it just seems like Bruce Banner is such a good-hearted person and everything, but we don't really get to see, like, anything that would kind of help connect us to him, really, which really sucks.
Yeah, I feel like Mark Ruffalo presents him as, like, a very sympathetic and endearing character, and that's why a lot of us like him, and we're fans of the Hulk from other, like, non-canon things. But the actual MCU Hulk hasn't shown us anything, like, outside of him being, like, a quiet nerd. There's no reason for us to, like, be like, "Aw."
Yeah, exactly. Which sucks. And I guess we never really got too much of a background on Clint either, but... Yeah. I mean, we just know he got a family, but we don't know anything about him prior to, like, working for S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that. And I think that he had a pretty cool backstory in the comic books as well. But they didn't really go too deep into it. It was basically just like the Captain America and Iron Man show.
Yeah. And I feel like that's also, like, one of the reasons why neither one of them should come back, like Steve Rogers or Tony Stark, because everything pretty much was about them.
It was already about them.
Yeah, even the Hulk scenes in She-Hulk, it's just like, oh, I miss Tony, and me and Tony did this, like,
yeah, and like, oh, me and Cap too. I mean, not even like him and Cap. He just called him a colleague, but I mean, I guess he called him a friend as well. But no, I agree.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention that I wish, like, men would stop assuming that women have not, like, consumed certain content. Like, that person, he really irritated me. Like, go watch the Eric Bana Hulk. Bitch, I've seen that movie multiple times. Yeah. I do this, okay? I like superhero shit. I like
and it wasn't, and it's not just because, like, it's good content for TikTok that we're consuming this. Like,
like, why did you assume that I have not seen the Hulk movie? I've seen that movie.
Exactly.
It didn't come out that long ago. I've seen it a couple times.
It's definitely a do bro thing to do. And I almost said that, like, to the person that tagged us, like, because I just said thank you. like, you know, because they were saying, like, that's what we were talking about on our show and everything. And I just said thank you, but I definitely wanted to just be like, it's the dude bros that, like, kind of make it seem like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about because, you know, in the comic books. But, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, that voice I just did. It just triggered me. It just fucking triggered me because of that dude
what
with the
Drew
group
doing?
video. Oh, you should have introduced us like Meg. That would have been good. Maybe next week. But no, that dude with the group video, and he was just like, guys, the MCU is falling apart because the group show is so terrible and it doesn't connect to anything. And I was like, triggered.
So fucking annoying.
Instantly triggered.
Yeah, that they irritate me, and I like posting our TikToks, like our clips from our show on TikTok, but I also like kind of have anxiety about it because I'm like, I know some mouth breathing, like stanky, I didn't watch behind my ears ass person is gonna be on here,
ass nigga.
Right? Like, oh, y'all must have didn't see. No, it doesn't matter. Also, it doesn't matter if we've seen the Eric Bana Hulk. It doesn't matter if we've seen Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. It don't matter who else has been the fucking Hulk. We talking about the MCU. And
exactly.
I feel
the
like
only two Hulks the only two Hulks we concerned about is Edward Norton, barely, and fucking Mark Ruffalo. So calm your tits.
Right. And then I feel like that's a tool that people use to make you feel like an outsider or like othered within this fandom as either a non-comic book reader or just as a woman in general. Like if you don't understand something, they immediately go, oh, it's because you don't know the comics. Oh, it's because you haven't seen this obscure movie. No, it's because they just haven't done a good job of storytelling within this franchise. That's the issue.
Exactly. And it's like very rare that somebody will be on the internet and not be argumentative and actually explain something and be like, oh, you don't know this? Well, I know everything about it. So let me tell you and let me educate you in like a kind way because like, you know, they just want to be like, oh, I'm right. I'm superior. And it's just like, bro, you don't know shit else about nothing. Like, so calm down. Like you're really excited that you know something about comic books.
To the point where they don't even listen to the whole video before they type out their fucking comment.
Exactly. And some of those comments I'm like, did you finish watching the video?
Yeah.
Because we literally talk about it like 2 seconds after the point that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that it's just to argue.
And it be the men. It's always a man commenting something like this. It's never the girls. The girls
I know.
Like, oh,
the girls be so supportive.
Yeah.
And that's why we make this show for y'all.
It's for the girls.
Let's hear it for the girls. That should have been my song.
So that's that. And then just to touch on that I Am Groot guy. So if anybody doesn't know, it was this creator and a bunch of people duetted him. Which I feel like this week was a bad week for like men on the internet because I kept seeing them being dragged, especially after She-Hulk. But just in general, he was like basically saying the I Am Groot series is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It doesn't go anywhere. It's mid. And everybody in the comments was like, it's for babies.
Yeah, everyone's like, I watched this show with my 2-year-old and my 2-year-old loved it.
Like
they're the target audience, babes.
Yes, it doesn't fucking matter. And like I haven't watched it. We don't talk about it, and it's fine. You don't have to watch it all.
And we probably not going to because they creating way too much stuff.
No, I'm probably not unless my kids want to watch it. But my kids don't give a fuck about Groot, so
yeah.
I feel like I knew from the beginning when they said they were doing the I Am Groot series. I was just like, so
exactly because it's like, are they going to translate? Yeah. What he's talking about?
Right, like he's cute, but I'm all right. I'm okay.
Right. It was something else that I wanted to touch on. Oh, because you said that the guys were getting dragged all week, and I just want to say that it is. I feel, and I mentioned this last week, but I'm gonna say it again. Like, it's okay for people to have different experiences than you. And instead of saying, no, that's not what happens or assuming something else, just like listen. Because a lot of people were just saying like, oh, she's saying that Jennifer Walters is saying that she's a better Hulk because she's because she's gotten catcalled. Like,
she literally didn't say that.
She didn't say that.
Like, didn't even imply it. Like,
exactly.
Like, I was so happy when I saw Straw Hat was starting to go at them because I kept seeing the videos and he finally chimed in. And then, like, Shango and Theories by T was all in the comments, like, hyping him up. I was like, finally. And I'm so happy that the male content creators that I follow was not on that bullshit. I did unfollow that one guy,
The one
though.
guy with the dreads. Because I was just like, usually he has pretty good takes, but then that one, I was just like, because he's the one I was talking about, and I'm like, but she didn't say that. And it's like, are you, like Straw has said, like, are you so fragile, like, that you are showing your fragility, basically?
Did you see somebody try to fight him over that?
Yeah.
He said, like, somebody in the comments was like, if because he said, he did mention something like, if you're fragile or whatever, like, this video is gonna, like, or that show is gonna offend a lot of fragile men. And then he was like, basically me, like, if I see you on site or some bullshit like that. And I was just like, y'all, first of all, if you commenting,
it's ironic.
I'm gonna beat your ass. I promise you finna lose that fight.
Right.
I promise you never fought nobody before.
Not just about, like, the fragility part, but it's ironic that the content is about a woman being able to control her anger better. And there's literally a man in comments on the internet saying, I'm gonna beat your ass. It's on site.
Over
like, you're literally proving her point that, like, women can't react like that.
And unless at least her anger is from almost being raped. Y'all angry about what strangers on the internet are saying.
So it's like, babe, you just proved her point.
Like, what? What's going on? Are y'all okay? I don't think they okay.
They obviously aren't okay.
Oh my God. But yeah, Prince said that he had turned the comments off on that video. I guess Prince went back to check because he commented on it a couple times, and he went back and the comments was off, and I was like, ate you up, didn't they?
One thing I'm not about to do is go back and forth with you niggas on fucking TikTok.
Definitely not. Definitely not gonna do that. And that's why I said I'm happy that guy didn't come back about that shit being canon. Like, you can literally Google it. I'm not gonna argue with you. And you don't want to argue with me because I'm a Sagittarius. I'm very fucking stubborn. You're not gonna change my mind. I'm gonna just let you be wrong.
With you niggas.
All right, so now that we have discussed that, let's get into this Iron Fist episodes 5 through 8. So let me do a recap off the dome, because
let's do it. Freestyle, baby girl.
Freestyle. So in these 4 episodes, we pick up with Danny. He's in Rand, and he is, dead set on taking down the Hand. They find out that the Hand, he finds out about the Hand and their drugs. We already knew about that from Daredevil, but apparently the Hand is just working all up and through Rand, selling their drugs, doing their business. So Danny is determined to get to the bottom of it and figure that shit out. That journey ends up leading him and Colleen and Claire, the night nurse, on a journey to China. Yeah. And then, Ward and them, they got their own bullshit going on. So that's pretty much.
I'm about to start calling Claire Mrs. Worldwide. Because baby be everywhere.
She might as well be fucking Nick Fury.
That's what I think. I called her Claire Fury at some point.
Yeah, I was so happy. The first thing I commented was, Claire, bitch, we needed you. I saw her, I was like, yes.
I said, OMG, it's fucking Claire, bruv. She is one well-connected girly.
She is. And you know what? Every time I see Claire, I know 2 things. The show finna start getting fucking good, and 2, somebody finna get their ass cut the fuck up.
Yes.
Shot up, beat up, whatever.
And what's crazy is that she was actually, like, with the shits. And I was like, oh, okay, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a cool, like, continuity thing to have her in there, like, training with Colleen. Because the last time we saw her was in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And she kind of got roughed up. At that point, she was like, I need to probably be tough. And then her big black man is in jail.
Exactly.
So you don't really have nobody to protect you.
Writing her letters.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you read the letter?
No, I did. You could see the letter?
Yes, girl.
Oh.
I paused. I could see most of it. He asked her how her training in martial arts was going. And then he said, do you really want to spar with me? And then it was unreadable. And then it said, it wouldn't be a fair fight. You can knock me out with just a smile.
Aww.
And the kiss, I'm dead. Then I think it was like a pop quote. He said, I think Oh wait, it says adapt what is useful, and then I couldn't read the rest. So yeah, girl, you know I be pausing stuff to see what people be talking about. I be nosy. Let me see what's going on in the background.
That's so cute. They so fucking adorable.
They are.
I love that for her. And I was happy, like, when she said they were doing something and she said "Sweet Christmas." I was like, look at you talking like your man.
I know, that was so freaking cute. And that's how you know she like him better than Matt.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
when
yeah.
you start talking like somebody, that's how you know it's real.
Yes, yeah.
When you start mirroring that personality.
Yeah. It's so funny, like, how we do that. Like, when me and Prince started dating, like, everything he listens to in the car, still to this day, sometimes he be listening to songs, I'll be typing the lyrics in on Google. Like, what fucking song is this?
What song is this? Let me see. Let me add this to my playlist real quick.
Man.
So, like, my first note for the episode, because it was, like, these, like, 3 really attractive women walking down the freaking street
like
with
they
their
was
little
going to
freaking suitcases and stuff. And I was just like, them bitches is pharmaceutical saleswomen. And they were. And they're selling heroin. I was like,
I wonder what I'm gonna have to watch Bailey series. I'm sure she got like a dark history episode on heroin. It probably started out as somebody trying to like cure cancer, and then they accidentally.
I think she does.
She got an episode about every fucking thing.
Speaking of dark history, I actually put that Rand was going to be on the episode of Dark History. There's an episode of heroin and cigarettes and tapeworms.
See, I fucking knew it. I'm gonna go watch that later.
Yeah. But no, the thing that the pharmaceutical sales reps made me think of was I used to watch How I Met Your Mother, and Neil Patrick Harris's character was basically supposed to be like this womanizer or whatever. And Ted, he had like a new girlfriend, and I guess like they were supposed to meet with her and her coworkers, and they like walk into the bar, and they're all just like super attractive with their freaking briefcases and stuff like that. And Neil Patrick Harris is just like, you didn't tell me that she was a pharmaceutical sales rep and all of this stuff. And he was basically saying how there's always like a really like hot profession throughout history. And I think at first it was like nurses. Oh, no. It was before nurses. I think it was like flight attendants.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. They reminded me of the Pan Am, like, flight attendants. Like, them walking, that reminded me of that scene from Catch Me If You Can.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
That's good.
I know, that's wild. But, yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, I didn't know that about, like, pharmaceutical reps. I feel like the only thing I remember about them is that movie with, was it Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway? And she ended up getting cancer. But that movie. But the only thing I remember about that is that she got cancer. So.
Yeah. And then it was also in Psych, because the black guy was a pharmaceutical sales rep. And I want to say that it was like a trope that like pharmaceutical sales reps are hot. And I'm sure it's just because they want, these men to buy their products and stuff. And
unbuttoning their shirts with the titties out and everything.
Exactly. And obviously it's super fucking easy because
titties.
They're literally selling heroin to doctors.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was because they had their titties out.
No, I mean, like, that's why it's them selling it. And then it's like they get away with it. And they're selling actual heroin.
No, you're right. My mind was just somewhere else, apparently.
On titties.
You was like, that's what makes it so easy. I'm like, yeah, because they got titties.
That too. Men are just easy.
You know how I started my Moon's Blood this week. And so I was telling Prince, like, oh my God, this is so terrible. Like, I'm telling him all my life struggles. And he was like, well, it's not that bad, though, because you still got titties. And I was just like,
what?
Get out. Just go away.
And I'm just like, I don't remember what it's like. I'm like, but I mean, it's all the same. All the symptoms are the same.
Yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, okay, so I want to talk, speaking of heroin, let's talk about Ward crackhead ass. So
I kind kind of felt sorry for him at a certain point. I was like,
his life took a fucking turn in these 4 episodes.
It really did. Life comes at you fast.
Man, I think he might have had like the most interesting development. Maybe in the show, but definitely these 4 episodes, the shit happened so fucking fast, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's just trying to run the fucking company. And I did feel bad for him too when he was having that conversation with Joy. But so he's running the company. Danny apologized and kind of assumed guilt, but not really, for what they were doing at their plant, poisoning people. 15 people ended up getting sick, and Danny's like, we should figure it out. And a lawyer recorded them, posted it online, and now they're in like crisis management mode. Of course, Danny is nowhere to fucking be found because he's
out Scooby doing some shit.
Scooby doing shit, trying to take down the hand. Ward and Joy are freaking the fuck out, and so Ward ends up killing his daddy. Mm-hmm. I forgot why exactly he killed his daddy. Because his dad
was basically saying, like, you're nothing without me.
Oh, and he was trying to leave.
Yeah.
Because Joy, I don't remember, but this is before or after he tried the heroin, because he was doing the back pills, and he was stressed the fuck out about the little boy Danny. So then he was like, well, the fucking heroin right here, he tried it. She came in there, the nigga tripping balls.
Was it implied that he did the heroin, or did he?
I think he did the heroin.
Oh, okay.
I think he was on heroin and the back pills.
Okay, all right.
And so after that, Joy is just like, what the fuck? Like, you was off some shit. She didn't know exactly what was happening, but she knew he was off a pill or two. And so she was like, you need to go to rehab. I will fix you up. I will be here waiting for you. It's okay. And he's like, okay. So as he's trying to fucking leave, he check his account. His daddy done took all his fucking money.
That would have made I know he ain't never seen zero in the bank account.
Ooh,
ever.
I would have been hot. And he was. So that's when he went to his daddy to confront him, like, what the fuck? And he like, he basically dogged him out. He called him everything but a child of God.
Yeah.
He thought he was just gonna walk away from that shit. And then
too, the fact that, like, what was I about to say? So, like, he's just a businessman. Like, yeah, he dealing with some weird shit with his dad. But at the end of the day, he's just a businessman, right? Mm-hmm. So he's trying to help Danny because they need to be back at a certain time or whatever. And so he's just like, all right, if I go with you, I'm going to make sure you get back in time. They go to this warehouse, dead body number 1. Mm. He already is very unstable. Yes. So that affects him, and he's like seeing dead bodies like while he's in meetings and everything. Mm-hmm. Then his dad needs him at a certain point, goes to his dad's penthouse, sees his dad dismembering bodies. Mm-hmm. And then his dad is like, well, okay, yeah, like, thanks for coming, go dump these bodies.
Everybody's reaction is like that, because even Danny, when he saw the severed head in the truck, Ward is like, oh my God. And Danny's just like, this is a message. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
He probably was like, am I the only one that's okay right now?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, as much of a dick as he is, he's the only person that had like an actual like real world reaction. Yes. Because I would be like, I'm done, I'm good, give me my 20 mil, I'm leaving. Like, I'm over it. I'm not dealing with this shit no more. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's a big jump from embezzle. Right. There's a big jump from embezzling money to dumping bodies, and he made that jump. Mm-hmm. And honestly, he really didn't have a choice.
Yeah, but I feel like his daddy could have had somebody else fucking do that.
He could have had Kyle do it.
He could have had the security guards. They already hired him for fucking murder, so you could dispose of some bodies. They was finna go and stabby Danny in the fucking alley. So why did you have your son doing this? Like, y'all pushed him to the edge.
Yeah. And now Rand is about to dip because we all know who was actually running that company. Yeah. And it's crazy that Joy was having this conversation with with Ward, and she's just like, I really admire you. You know, she mentioned that like at a certain point, and I'm assuming it's the point when his dad came back to life and he had to basically like keep those two sides of his life separate, that she's just like, you put up a wall and you don't let me in anymore. And that had to have been at least a decade.
Yeah.
That all of this has been going on. A decade of this.
At least. It might have been longer.
It might
But
have
yeah,
been.
I can't remember when they said he died of cancer.
No, I can't either, but it seems like it happened when she was young.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, she's been doing all that. Well, you know, she's been living her life. He's been living a double life. And, you know, she's just like, I've always admired you. You ran the company really well and everything like that. And it's all a lie. Yeah. And he even tries to tell her, but it's almost like he has like, you know, a really guilty conscience. He can't even tell her because he's seeing blood everywhere.
And I'm sure outside of the fact that, you know, he killed his daddy, so he needs to probably get the fuck out of Dodge. But he was not the one that was running that company. So I'm sure he wants to not be in charge anymore.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Like, he knows that, like...
He don't know how to make them fucking decisions.
No, he was never... I'm sure he could, but he was never allowed to. Mm-hmm. But actually, he couldn't, because he was making the wrong decision.
Right. I was just going to say, like, the show has showed us, like, anytime it's time for him to make a decision or do something on his own, he fucks it up. Like, he's not that guy.
Yeah. I had wrote down... Oh, so after the whole thing with the... What is it? The plant in the board, like Danny apologizes to the woman, basically admitting fault. So that makes the company liable for, you know, more money and everything. And the lawyers basically like legally trying to extort them out of more money. The board is basically like, I'm sick of all y'all shit. Like, we got fucking teenagers running this company. So they pretty much try and push Danny, Joy, and Ward out, all three of them. And the wild part is they offered him $100 million. Yeah. Which is the amount of money that they offered Danny to leave the company. And
that karma baby came back real quick.
Right. And it's crazy because it's just like a few episodes ago, like we said, like Ward has such a huge turn. Just like a couple episodes ago, he was fighting tooth and nail to keep Danny out and was willing to, like, you know, give him $40 million to walk away. And now he's ready to throw it all away, you know. But I mean, I guess like he was okay with running away with $25 million.
Yeah,
he's like 100, and then he went even lower. He was like, "Just give me $30 million and I'll be good." He's like, "I'm just trying to get the fuck out of this weird shit."
He's like, "I'll give you some of it if you want, but I need to go."
Exactly.
But luckily, Joy has saved the day. She hired Jessica Jones, to be her PI, and of course, our girl got the shit done.
Exactly.
So she said everybody in the company is either fucking the company over or fucking somebody that's not their wife. I was like, oh, messy.
I know. Sounds like Gossip Girl.
Right? But yeah, I was like, obviously these people don't have no fucking morals. So that's why they not, you know, trying to pay out and help nobody solve
and
this.
And the crazy thing is that what Danny is doing and showing that the company, you know, that he has a heart and he cares about people. It's actually changing the public's perception of Rand Enterprises, and it's more beneficial to the company than the actual dollar amount.
Exactly.
And so he is actually bringing a lot of value to the company, but you know, all the shareholders can think about is the money, which sucks.
And it probably wouldn't have been as bad if Ward wasn't in there, like, going through withdrawals in the middle of meetings. Like, that boy was sweating bullets, hallucinating.
He looked like something was wrong with him.
Yeah, he didn't have it all together. They can't get Danny to show up for shit. They definitely was falling apart. All right, so I guess we have to talk about Danny Rand now.
Okay.
A lot kind of happened with him too. So in the beginning of that episode, he had came in with takeout and a whole fucking dinner date set up for Colleen ass, and
which was really cute.
It was, and I really liked how Claire didn't do that whole like, oh, well, I'm gonna leave you guys to it, while her friend is clearly uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They do that in so many movies, and it irritates me every single time because I would never do that to you. Like as an actual girl in real life, like if somebody showed up like that, I would have did the same thing as Claire. I would have looked at you, been like, I don't think she's ready for this, so I'll just stay.
Yeah, and the crazy, but like obviously more ends up happening with them. Right. But I think like at this point, he's just naive.
Yeah.
Which it is cute and endearing in a way because
he
it's
means
like
well.
He hasn't been in Western civilization since he was 10 years old. Yeah. And I'm sure he wasn't getting an education in Kunlun or Kunlun or whatever. Yeah. So it's just like, it's just cute that he was just like, this is the only takeout place I knew. My parents used to eat here. So it was cute.
Yeah.
And he was like,
just like, initially.
I know. Exactly, because he said takeout. I'm like, oh, this nigga done brought her some fucking some beef fried rice.
Right.
And I was like, that's cute. And then they start pulling out tables and chairs and all this stuff.
And they brought a lot of fucking food.
Yes. Too. I'm like, dang, meal prep.
And when Claire left, she was like, I hope you don't mind. She grabbed like 4 things.
That would have been me too.
Go off, Claire.
Because one thing I don't want to do is cook.
Right.
I will eat that shit all week.
She said, me and my mama finna eat tonight.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot. I'd be forgetting she live with her mama right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot about Danny in these couple episodes really like let me know that he like, I mean, obviously he really needs to go to fucking therapy, but also it's like these are like the first, like we on episode 5 through 8. These are the first like real conversations he's having with people, like about him, not about like, oh, the hand or oh, like I was in Kunlun. Like no,
but just like, his actual experiences, whether they be positive
or negative
or traumatic.
Like, like we actually finally kind of getting to know him, because like up until this point, like I won't say that I didn't care before because I barely care now, but I definitely didn't care before.
Right. And it was just really sad. Maybe sad's a strong word. Uncomfortable to watch how uncomfortable he was on a plane, knowing that he's going the same exact place that he was going when he and his family got into that plane crash. Like that's pretty scary.
Like how he kept looking up at the ceiling. Because his fucking mama flew out of the goddamn ceiling. Ugh.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really crazy how, like, positive, and obviously I'm sure with meditation and stuff like that, like, he's kind of processed things in his own way. But that's still a very traumatic thing to experience at 10 years old. And then you go back to your world and you're still kind to people, no matter how much shit they give you. Like, because Ward and Joy was absolute cunts to him in the first couple of episodes, and he was still really kind to them. And you know, some people when they start going through shit, they just like kind of like let it spill over to other people. But he didn't do that.
Yeah, he was nice to everybody, and they never asked him no fucking personal questions. They just asked like, where you been and why the fuck did you come back? They never was like, damn, like how Claire was like, wow, that must have been really hard for you. Like, what was that like?
Exactly. And those were supposed to be like his family friends and like his the closest people to him. Yeah, which is they shit. Yeah, wild to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about what's her face. Even Colleen, because I think I don't even really blame her because her initial response is just like, let me just guard myself, let me be protective, because she is from New York. But I feel like after that conversation when Claire was asking the questions, it kind of softened her up and made her like accept him a little bit more. Because we see, you know, by the end of the episode,
right,
she give Danny some, which I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if what I would call it, I don't know if I would call it chemistry, what they have, but
they have a good rapport.
Sure. But I don't know. Like maybe it's because every time I see him and how he like thinks and talks, I'll be like, this is a grown child. And I just can't.
That he has the, well, I don't even want to say emotional intelligence of a child, but he has that like naive side of him.
Yeah.
That is very childlike.
Yes.
Like the way that he dresses and the way that he like just I don't know.
It's kitty. I don't know.
It is.
Like I don't look at him and be like, yeah, I want to fuck that. No.
He also has a bird chest.
Yeah. I was thinking
Night
that
of Flowers
when he took his shirt off the first time. I was like, oh, that's the Iron Fist.
He's like not muscular.
And I guess you don't have to be to do like kung fu and stuff, but
it would look better. I'm not about to body shame that man.
You're right. Let's not body shame.
Let me not do that.
Colleen was satisfied, so that's all that fucking matters.
He was a virgin.
Yeah, she took his B card, and he was like, "That was great," and she was like, "It was good."
yeah, exactly. He's like, "You were definitely in there."
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it was great.
I'm not gonna say it's great. It happened. It definitely happened.
Did you notice that RZA from Wu-Tang Clan directed the 6th episode?
I did not.
Yeah, and he actually directed a movie called Man with the Iron Fist or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I knew about that movie. My brother has seen that. I have not, but...
No, I haven't either. But I was just like, is this the same person?
No. Black people in kung fu shit just go together.
Exactly. So it's just... I just want to talk about Claire again for a second because I just came across this note that I put down. So Danny and Colleen go and, they were Scooby doing some shit, as they always do. And they find a chemist that was basically making all the heroin and everything. And he ends up getting stabbed. So they take him to none other than our girl Claire, who is basically the MacGyver of Marvel.
Yeah.
Her and Rocket could go head to head. She would probably win because she's saving lives.
Right.
So first I put Claire is like, oh, hell no, I did not leave the South Side for this. Because she knows about the hand. She knows because they were at her hospital. They're the reason that she lost her job. They're the reason one of her close, co-workers, whatever, got killed. And she was just like, oh, my mother said it's my destiny to just like always like run into you people. And then I was just thinking about like, I follow this one guy on Instagram who's like a relationship quotes. And for y'all that are listening, I am putting air quotes around that because I think that the profession is stupid.
And also anybody be on TikTok like, I'm a relationship coach, no degrees, but
it's not that it's a stupid profession because some people need help, but I also think that some people need therapy and then they can start doing the whole relationship coach thing. But that's neither here nor there. But this one guy, he did say something that was very interesting. He was saying like, okay, like when you're dating somebody and you leave that person and you date somebody else, and then they are displaying the same type of characteristics that the other person showed, and you kind of see that there's a pattern, like you keep on running into the same type of people and attracting the same type of people. And it's obviously, he was saying that there's like, you're mirroring them, or, what you're attracting is basically a reflection of what you portray and the qualities that you have. So basically, if you want to change what you're attracting, then you have to kind of change yourself. And that's kind of Claire.
Yeah.
Because what are the fucking odds that this woman lives in New York City? Daredevil is in Hell's Kitchen, as is Jessica Jones. These people are in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Luke Cage was in Harlem. Those are completely different sides. There are different bureaus and everything of New York, and she keeps running into the same type of people. And it's like, well, obviously it's because like she's somebody that's going to go out of her way to help people and kind of be her own type of hero and everything, and she keeps running into the same type of people. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like the same but more positive because they're trying to help.
I mean, it's good that she sees it as like a gift, kind of, or a calling versus just bad luck or a curse, because she done seen
like,
people shot and stabbed and all types of shit in front of her. What?
You know that audio that I think it came from like Grand Theft Auto, and they're like, "Oh shit, here we go again."
That's definitely her. Because at this point, I would have fucking moved to Timbuktu. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
And then you still would have found somebody.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thinking she moved to Timbuktu, end up in Wakanda, and now she T'Challa personal doctor and shit.
Exactly. She's a healer.
Right. Hell no. Okay, so I also want to talk about Danny. There was something I was gonna say, and then I just completely lost. Okay, so they go to China to, you know, find Madame Gao and shit, because he didn't figure it out. Well, at the end of the episode, he figures out that she obviously played a role in his parents' death. But the thing about Danny Rand that's been getting on my nerves is that I feel like the Iron Fist really not Iron Fisting. He flew across the fucking world to get his ass beat almost by a drunk dude.
I put the same.
I was like, be fucking for real right now, Danny
I was
Rand.
like, ain't no way this dude drunk and is actually drinking during the fight and beating up the Iron Fist. And then I put that the fight was too long.
It was. And then like the fact that he kicked you and you bleeding. Bitch, you supposed to be, your body is a war. Not a war. He's a warrior and his body is a weapon. What kind of weapon? And then when he was fighting the dude,
a water
in that
gun, that kind of weapon.
A water balloon, not even a gun. Just no pressure at all. Like a soggy water balloon that's not even filled up all the way. Like, it was pissing me off. And then like, what episode was that? 5? When they were they had snuck to the truck or whatever. He got in there, and there's one bad guy in there. Why y'all fighting this long?
Yeah.
To the point where he was able to stab the person that you're trying to save.
Exactly.
Why didn't you just punch a hole in his fucking head? I'm so lost.
It drives me crazy when he picks and chooses to use his Iron Fist.
Yes. Like,
granted, yeah, he did need to like use it to get out of the truck. But it was wild to me that like he couldn't lay this dude out.
And then he was like, afterwards, I think Colleen had asked him, like, why didn't you use the fist? And he was like, well, I just used it in the truck. It got a charge. What the charge? It got a charge.
I think he said it drains his chi. And he has to, like, channel his chi in order to do the Iron Fist. But that sounds like a really shitty-ass superpower.
It's so fucking dumb. It's so bad.
If it loses battery, like, quicker than my fucking iPhone.
Man.
When I have my watch and my AirPods on.
Man.
Like, come on now.
I could watch all of Game of Thrones on this bitch. And I could still have my phone on at the end of the day. It might be on 2%, but still.
I be at work texting from my Apple Watch. I be having my AirPods in, but I don't be listening to anything some of the time. But then I do. But then towards the end of the day, I be watching fucking movies and TV shows, and my phone still don't die.
Man.
And you can't beat a nigga ass.
Yup.
Without. Bye.
Steve Jobs.
It's giving
Nokia. What the fuck he was doing. Steve Jobs, baby, you more powerful than a fucking Iron Fist.
Right. His fist is giving Nokia. Like.
And then the thing that was killing me was like, okay. You gotta save your power. You gotta save your juices for when you really fucking need it. All right. Mm-hmm. But you supposed to be like a fucking ninja kung fu master. You don't got a sleeper?
Exactly.
You couldn't put him
Even
to sleep?
Luis had a sleeper.
Come on. Everybody Luis hit went night. Okay? Everyone.
Oh my God. You know what's so funny? I just remembered, now that I say that, I had a dream. And Luis was in my dream, and he had hit somebody and laid him out. It was so random.
Oh my God. Woo.
That's so random.
Yeah, that's exhausting me. And I feel like I didn't really have too many expectations off of nobody else, but when you tell me, oh, he's the Iron Fist, he's the baddest motherfucker, I'm convinced that Karen Page could be his ass at this point.
She's one scrappy broad.
She's very fucking scrappy. Why does these fights take you so long? And then when he went to this whole fucking Mortal Kombat ass fight thing, and if it's culturally accurate or significant, I don't want to offend nobody, but the way they set that shit up looked like a fucking video game, and I couldn't take it seriously.
And it was like a final boss, but the boss wasn't bossing either.
I was like, what am I watching right now? I was just like, ooh, Iron Fist needs to be over. Like, I'm struggling.
And it's like it was almost a really good show.
Mm-hmm. It could have went somewhere.
And then I just find myself getting so bored because you remember, especially like, man, those first 4 episodes of Daredevil season 2.
Yeah,
bruh, like I was wrapped the fuck in. Mm-hmm. First few episodes of Luke Cage, I was in it. Mm-hmm. And this is like, it's so close to being good.
Even Jessica Jones started off slow, but the show has some substance, and it went somewhere eventually. Like, 100%. By the end, I was like, okay, I really do want to see how this ends.
Exactly. And she's at least funny.
Yeah. She's a funny asshole, and at least she uses her powers. If somebody getting on her nerves, she just gonna throw their ass across the street.
Exactly.
He can't even put nobody to sleep.
No. That's really... God. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Prince used to play Point 'em Out, Knock 'em Out as a kid. So...
oh my God, that hood ass game.
My husband was so ghetto. Anyway, but I'm just saying that's making me tired. That's it.
Do you want to know something that I learned yesterday?
What?
Cottonmouth is a snake too.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that until I was watching Naked and Afraid.
Wasn't that in that movie Kill Bill? Wasn't somebody Cottonmouth?
No, I have seen those movies once each.
Oh. That's why I keep waiting for Danny to do the 5-point palm exploding heart technique on somebody. Since you know Kung Fu.
He knows something. He know crazy. I was going to say, okay, so like we said earlier, it's mentioned, like, okay, so Gal mentions Wendell. His name's Wendell, right? Wendell. Mm-hmm. She mentions Wendell. I just made him black. So at one point she said, I didn't think that I would meet another Iron Fist. Mm-hmm. And then she says that she knew Danny's dad. So that takes him on this little quest where he's like at the office and he's just like, I need all the files on my dad. It was only one file and it was his badge. Almost like he was just like, I'm done kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking is, obviously Ward was lying. It was like, oh, I had no idea that the hand was in the company and all that stuff. Pretty sure that was fucking bullshit. Mm-hmm. I believe, because in the comic books, if they choose to like delve into that part, his dad had been to Kunlun as a kid and chose to leave. Mm. So I'm assuming that's how he met Gal. Mm-hmm. And then she obviously has something to do with Kunlun, and she decided to be evil instead. And so I'm just...
what's his name too? Harold. He knew all about that shit too.
That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. Like, he was trying to tell Danny, like, oh, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know anything about it. But what I'm thinking is, once Wendell figured out that, you know, Gal... Stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
Your face.
I'm sorry.
Once he figured out that Gal was kind of in the hand was infiltrating the company, he's like, I'm about to take my family to Anjo and figure out what the fuck is going on. And I'm pretty sure, I think that he just quit. I think he was about to just take his family and just live in Kunlun.
Maybe.
That's what I think was going to happen.
Yeah, and then, he probably definitely, at the very least, he's going to shut whatever they was doing down.
Yeah, because he gave his shit up. Yeah. He was like, y'all can have it. Because he wouldn't have been able to get back into the building if he left his fucking badge. I mean, he probably would have been able to, but I think that he kind of made a conscious decision to leave, take his family with him. And Gal was like, I don't want no smoke. I need this nigga dead.
Mm-hmm.
And she killed the pilots so the plane would
Mm-hmm.
go down, not expecting that Danny would survive.
Well, I guess we
we'll
will find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about She-Hulk. I'm excited to talk about this. Okay. So, this episode starts off immediately after the events of last week when she hulked out in the courtroom, saved the day in her little fight against Titania. It's all over the fucking news. Everybody knows she's a Hulk. They done called her She-Hulk. She didn't even pick the fucking name. And
that's usually how it happens because they didn't pick. Hulk didn't get to pick his name either. It happened the same way.
Oh yeah, on the fucking news.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt so bad for her because she literally, like, the whole first episode, she was just telling us, I just want to have my job. I just want to be normal. I don't want to be a superhero. I don't even want to be a Hulk. Second episode, no more job. Only thing anybody cares about is you being a Hulk.
Yeah, and it almost sounds like she could have had a case for discrimination. Because she didn't choose to become a superpowered being. Mm-hmm. It was an accident, and that's how that's that's her life. That's the hand that it dealt her, so that's the hand she got to play. And now she one, lost her job, and then two, couldn't get a job because of it. Mm-hmm. Somebody even called her a sideshow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she could say that it was like a disability that she got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't drop her from her insurance. They can't fire you for being pregnant. How could they fire you for getting a Hulk disease?
Exactly. That was the first thing I thought about. I was like,
I like the way you think, counselor.
Should have been a fucking lawyer.
Yeah, that sucked. You walk into a bar and everybody's just like, oh my God, you're so cool. And then you get fucking fired while you drinking. At a bar. That was the most inappropriate way to fire somebody.
I agree. I fucking agree.
And I done got fired in some weird fucking ways. Well, one weird ass way. But that was not all right.
I always leave before I get fired. You know what I mean?
That's the way to do it. Like a boss.
Exactly. I just stopped showing up.
I love all the subtle, like, superhero shade that's in this show. Mm-hmm. She was like, I don't want to be a superhero. That's for billionaires, narcissists, and adult orphans for some reason.
Yes.
And I was just like, damn, maybe
which we've talked about. And then she brings up what we talked about in our discussion last week was that, like, do Avengers even get paid? Do they get maternity leave?
I said,
get insurance?
When she stood up, when she said that, I stood up and I said to Prince, see, I'm not fucking crazy. I might have been high when I was thinking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's QTNA. Questions that need answers. Okay?
Very true.
I'm not doing this shit without getting paid, bro. Mm-mm.
And you got to pay me good to risk my life every week.
Comfortable.
You have to pay me very handsomely.
Yeah. How am I be a superhero and I got to clock in? What the fuck?
How I'm going to be a superhero and the people that I'm saving probably make more than me.
Period.
Especially the server from Avengers. She definitely made more than them.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, I feel bad. Then she gets fired, and then, like, some of the words that she say, like, really, oh my God, words are just not coming to me today. So she's like, when she was talking to her dad, and she was telling him, like, basically all her problems when they were in the basement by themselves, and she was like, I didn't want it to come out like this in front of everybody. And I was just like, damn, I wonder how that feels, like something that she's not, like, super proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't, like, ready to accept about herself, but then she was just thrust into the spotlight.
I think that must be how, like, a lot of celebrities feel when things come out about them. And it's just like, dang, like, I can't have no type of personal life. Yeah. Now I'm under a microscope.
Yeah. And then people were talking about some, She-Hulk is hot. And she's like, but that's me. What the fuck?
Exactly. Speaking of hot, the male lawyer, again, just shows
how much
I know
exactly what you're finna say.
He is. he's talking to he's talking to Jen, and he was talking about, oh, how did you become a superhero? Blah blah blah. It's not fair. Woe is me. I'm a white male in America. I have the worst life ever. Intense eye roll. And so he says, "There's a hot chick. I'm gonna go over and talk to it." Bitch, like, what? That pissed me off.
Jen better than me, because as soon as he came over there to say something to me, I'll be like, baby, I will hurt you.
Yeah.
With my pinky. Don't
and
try it.
And it just like, I know like this is obviously supposed to be a kid's show, but that is how men think. They just think of women as objects in which to fucking masturbate into. And that is disgusting.
It's terrible.
It is disgusting.
Like, how do y'all sleep at night? Ugh. But then, and I was thinking, like, he's probably super fucking happy that she got fired, because he wanted her position anyway, and now he didn't even have to fucking work for it.
Exactly.
It's just gonna be an opening, and then he gonna slide his little greasy Weasley ass right on in.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Ugh, dick wad. He should go suck a bag of dicks. So the most interesting part of this episode is that she ends up getting a job as a lawyer at the superhero law division. What do they call it?
Something like that.
At the law firm that was actually representing the person that was opposite of her in that first court scene or whatever.
And somebody said that this was traffic court.
What?
It was. I feel like I heard them say that in like the news, that it was traffic court, and I was like,
that couldn't have been traffic court.
I know. I was confused. Maybe they were just being like facetious or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But she ends up working there. She thinks that it's just a job because we see her go on multiple interviews and never get anything. But she thinks it's just a job based off of her talent. And then when she gets there, she finds out that they pretty much just want her to be a fucking mascot. And her first position is to get Emil Blonsky his parole. And I felt that this worked on so many levels. And I think this is one of the reasons why I really like this show, is that immediately when she's walking in, she's looking at all of these men. Like, it's a male-dominated space, and we already know that law firms are like that. But she's feeling really self-conscious because she's like, is this the only reason that they hired me? Is because I'm a Hulk? And it's like, I know a lot of other women in high positions feel like that, because they feel like, did I get this job because I'm pretty? Or people gonna look at me and think like I just fucked my way to the top? Or because I'm somebody's daughter or something?
Or if you're a black woman, it's like, oh, did I get this position because I'm black? And they kind of have to like meet some type of quota.
Right. Like, it feels into that, like, you got to work 2 times as hard to get half as much. And it's definitely a slap in the face, because she was like, I've been to school, like, I'm passionate, I'm really good at my job, and I can't find another job except for being here, and I have to be in Hulk form all the time. And she's not even accepted that part of herself yet. So it's just like a really uncomfortable situation for her to be in. And I was just like, oh, as a woman, when he said that she kind of had to be in Hulk form, I was just like, it's almost like she has to code switch, but physically. Yes. It's a physical manifestation of code switching. Look at that. Beautiful.
Who directed this?
Man, they went off. Like, maybe is this what it feels like to be a man and to like see yourself and your problems represented and everything? Like, to be a white man, oh my God. Y'all must feel great all the fucking time.
Is this how it feels all the time?
Oh.
Like Riley on National Treasure. Is this how you feel all the time? Wow, let me just bask in this.
Right. I'm definitely basking in it. This is the only show that I've watched like multiple times during the week. Like, I watched the last episode twice. I watched this one twice. Granted, that's not a lot, but usually I only watch these episodes one time and that's it.
Yeah, I definitely I'm a one and done.
Yeah.
Kind of gal. I don't know what she is. She's kind of racially ambiguous, but she doesn't look black.
Who?
The director.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and then it's just like she she hates it, and I feel like I don't know her, but I feel like she would want to like fight it and just like stand up for herself, but she pretty much has to bite her tongue and accept a not ideal situation because
I mean,
she
she
won't
got
have a
bills to
livelihood,
pay.
right? So she has to be
Because
here.
I've literally worked in places that was just like, ugh, ugh, terrible.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I really don't have a choice because it's either this or be homeless.
Facts.
And she live in LA, so she definitely can't afford to be without a check for too long.
Hell no. And she got a nice ass apartment too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she probably don't even know how to live off of like $32,000 a year after being a lawyer. Please.
But she was an assistant DA. She wasn't making that much money.
Oh, okay.
Only defense attorneys make good money, I think.
Well, she finna be getting them She-Hulk checks now.
Exactly.
The checks is gonna be a Hulk. So her first assignment is to help Emil Blonsky get out of jail. And I just want to say, Kevin Feige must listen to the Southside of Wakanda podcast.
Why?
Somebody is in the room listening to the podcast because
hey y'all,
we
what's
said,
up?
hey, next time call us. We'll do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
But we said this, like when we first talked about the Incredible Hulk, we were like, General Ross lied to these men, sent them all on a death mission. Then he gaslit Emil into getting the fucking super soldier serum.
And didn't tell him.
I haven't listened to our episode, but I
Me
know
either. What's funny is
this.
like Prince had he had tagged us in something and he's like, y'all said this last year. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what we say? Because I don't be remembering week to week what we be talking about. I definitely don't. That was our third episode.
Second or third, something like that.
I think it had to have been third because we did
No, we did Iron Man first. Yeah. The Hulk was second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was Iron Man 1, 2, and then Incredible Hulk. But yeah, that was our second episode. That was last May.
We did though. The way he explained it was a little bit different because he
was sugarcoating it because he went in for a few other hits.
Right.
But
that first one, I don't really even blame him because if a fucking top secret multiple security level clearance person tells you you can be the next Captain America, I'll probably take the fucking shot.
Exactly. Especially after seeing what I was going against. Especially after like seeing what I was going up against.
Yeah.
Like, because he had already fought the Hulk and everything. Well, he had already fought the Hulk.
He saw him. Yeah, in that factory, yeah.
Exactly. So it's just like, after seeing that and being like, I am a human being, just regular, not super powered or anything. I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need a little something. Yeah. And then he definitely misled him. And he, like he said, he's like, I was just being a good soldier.
Mm-hmm. Fighting for his country. He was doing his job. They took advantage of him.
Mm-hmm. Like they
Justice for Emil. Free him.
There's two things that I wanted to talk about before we get to what happened at the end. Mm-hmm. One, did you notice that her lock screen is Captain America's butt?
No. No.
It is. It is.
Hilarious.
Very cute. Also, I'm not even going to make it seem like I noticed this on my own.
I didn't either. I know exactly what you're finna say, too.
Okay. All credit goes to Sir Straw Hat.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed this out. So while Jen is looking up jobs on whatever, she was just like, 10 offbeat jobs for people who are in between jobs. Some shit like that. You know, one of those BuzzFeed type articles.
Yeah.
So there were, on the side, there were articles that said, one, that pointed out towards a stone man being in the ocean from Eternals. And it's like, how did this thing get here? Mm-hmm. Which is funny because that shit came out last year. So all of this has to be happening almost simultaneously is what I would think. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty much everything that's happened in Phase 4 is pretty much all kind of coinciding and happening around the same time. Two, The other article says a man with metal claws gets into a bar brawl. Now, who else could that be talking about?
Logan.
So all y'all dude bros that, oh my god, they need to, we're the mutants. We're the mutants. Shut the fuck up. They're coming.
Shut the fuck up. And
They're
all the people that talk about the Eternals, like, I was so happy, like, there y'all fucking go. They say, nobody's mentioned this in a big fucking hand in the ocean. Oh my god.
It's been mentioned. It's been mentioned now.
How much do y'all want them to fucking mention?
Exactly. And then it's just like, what I don't want is, especially since we've all been watching this stuff, we've watched everything. What I don't want is a bunch of exposition about things that have happened in other movies just to say that it was mentioned.
Yeah.
Like, what if there was like a random fucking conversation in fucking Hawkeye or something, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear about the hand, right. the stone hand in the ocean?
Mm-hmm. How about those bears? Like, shut
exactly.
The fuck
up. Like, I don't. I want to.
I hate small talk in real life. I don't want to see small talk on TV.
Exactly, and it's like, if it's going to be pointed out, I would rather it be a news article like this, or how like in oh shit, was it Hawkeye or was it in Spider-Man when they were like, oh, people don't want the Statue of Liberty to be renovated and stuff. Mm-hmm. like I'd rather it be like little Easter eggs like that than it be like a huge plot point.
Yeah,
kind of, you know.
I mean, but even still, like, how could it be a plot point? Like, y'all want somebody to be like, oh my god, there's a man coming out of the ocean, and then they go to it and then they look at it and be like, well, that's fucking weird. Now what?
This is
they gonna fight the frozen hand?
Like, this is a world where half of people disappeared, and then came back. So I don't want people to just be like, isn't this weird? The whole
aliens
existence
invaded New York.
Everything is weird. So we don't need to explain exactly how weird everything is.
God. Speaking of like Wolverine and them, I am happy that Bruce Banner is getting the fuck off this show. And
so it can be about her.
Yes, because I feel like all the conversations that we be seeing like on social media and TikTok and all that be about everything but Jen Walters.
Yeah.
And it's irritated me. Like, this whole week has been about like, oh no, the Hulk is more powerful, da-da-da-da. The next fucking week is probably going to be about, oh, Wolverine, he's in the MCU. Because that's literally all I've seen anybody talk about.
Really? I've only seen it that once. But I really haven't been on TikTok that much.
I keep seeing it. Outside of like Straw Hat and Theories by T, like everybody's just like, oh, Wolverine. Like, okay, a lot of other shit happened in this episode though.
Exactly. One thing that I do want to talk about is, okay, so she goes to talk to Emil or whatever, and then she clears it with Bruce, which was super cute. That is a very girl thing to do.
It is.
If you're a good girl, not a good girl, but if you are a good human being and you are a woman, you are going to check in with your friends or your family members before you do anything that might upset them. So she knew that there's a huge conflict of interest, but whatever.
Yeah. I guess they said fuck it.
Exactly. So she chooses to talk to Bruce first before she accepts the job. And she accepts the job, or he basically gives her the go ahead. He's just like, go ahead, do it. He was like, he's wrote me letters apologizing and all of this stuff.
Wrote him a haiku.
Exactly, which was really cute and funny. And then she calls Holloway to tell her, Holloway, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, she calls Holloway to tell him, like, yeah, I'm going to take the job. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, you need to turn on the news.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, there is video evidence of Emil Blonsky as Abomination fighting in the ring in not Madripoor. It was
the Fight Club. It's from Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the city that they were in, but yes, it was in Shang-Chi. And I was just like, okay, so how did this get put out? And I was thinking that Bruce was being messy. I know it's not his character. I know it is not in his character.
That would have been funny, though.
Wouldn't it? Because that happened in Shang-Chi, And Wong was in Shang-Chi, and so was Bruce. And obviously, Bruce and Wong keep in contact.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, how else would this get out there? How else would, like, people know and everything? And I was just like, I think it'd be really funny if he was just like,
fuck
basically, he was just like, not really to kind of screw over Jen, but mostly to say fuck Emil.
Yeah.
But then she ended up taking the job, so it's like, oh shit. And he's like, I'm already out of jam, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
Just blow everything up and then go off to space.
Exactly. That's how you do it. That's when you send like when you send like a crazy group chat, something crazy to the group chat, or you send like a crazy text and you just throw your phone and walk out the room and be like, it's above me now.
Right. That's hilarious. No, it was somebody was being a hater because I'm sure they was like, oh, he finna be up for parole. Let me fuck this up. Leak that shit on Twitter and just let the internet do what it does.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
My mind is on Hulk.
I want to, yeah. And that's the thing too. It's just like, I mean, I'll be like, my cousin beat your ass once, so I think I'm gonna be okay. Especially now I'm a Hulk too. Yeah, not worried about the Abomination.
Exactly.
And I don't want to hear nobody from the comments. I'm like, oh, in the comic books, he beat it. Shut the fuck up. He lost in the movie, so he's a loser. End of story.
He's a loser and he's in jail, so double whammy.
Right. He stayed in jail. Okay, what kind of Hulk will stay in jail? Anyway, I wanted to mention that when they first told us that this show would be a comedy and that she would break the fourth wall, I was afraid. But it has been masterful. Like when he says, I'm a completely different person now, she looks at the camera and says, ha ha, took me out.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That is fucking hilarious.
It's also really funny because he is a different person.
Yes.
It reminded me of My Wife and Kids when they recasted Claire. And then, I think his name was Michael in the show, Wayans, Damon Wayans. He was just like, oh, you look kind of different.
Yes.
And I absolutely love when they kind of call it. And I think they did that in Iron Man 2 as well with Rhodey.
I think so. I can't
so
remember
it's just
exactly.
like, I love those little subtle call outs to the fact that they've done recasting.
Yeah, they did. I remember when he had that Senate meeting and he was like, you look different. And he was like, he said, Don Cheadle said something like, it's me, get used to it or something
Exactly.
Yeah. But
love
yeah, so that was She-Hulk and Iron Fist 5 through 8.
Yes. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the South Side of Wakanda podcast, and this was our Iron Fist season 1, episodes 5 through 8 discussion. Basically our She-Hulk discussion.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be discussing Iron Fist 9 through 13 and She-Hulk episode 3. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and get them notifications on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
I'm uploading videos. Y'all better fucking be watching them.
I know I do, because I just love us.
Remember all them people that was just like, are you guys on YouTube?
Y'all better
Why we only get 5 views? Why we only get 5 views a week?
and one of those views is me. And I be at work laughing, and my coworkers be like, what's so funny? I be like, I'm just listening to my podcast. I'm like, I just said these words yesterday, and it's so funny to me. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.